Good morning. It's good to see all of you here for this morning's service. It's interesting when we are able to hear the thoughts of other people. Sometimes I think we usually don't like to risk talking about what's on our mind, but because we don't do that, there's often misunderstanding. It can lead to assumptions that cause difficulties, and that's basically what the Dharma is saying, because we don't see things clearly and we act only upon our own assumptions and our expectations of the way things should be. We do cause difficulties for ourselves and for others. That's the second of the Four Noble Truths. We don't see things clearly that result in the first, which is difficulties. And we don't like to take that risk to say what's on our mind. Now, sometimes we don't want to hear what others have on their mind. Not to say that that was the case. But the reason, so I should share what is on my mind, right? And so, I don't know. No. Originally, I was going to say, before we began sutra chanting, before meditation, I was going to say that we'll do a Stump the Priest today. And so during the reading of Shoshinge, or during the reading of the whatever we're going to read, Jusei-ge or whatever, you would have time to think about any questions that you might have that we could kind of talk about in this morning's service. But then I thought, oh no, that's no good, because then you're thinking of questions while you're supposed to be reading the sutra. So I thought maybe we'll read Shoshinge because it'll give us enough time to kind of think about these things and contemplate. So that was the reason I chose Shoshinge. But next week is Hoonko. Hoonko is the memorial service for Shinran, who's the founder of this school of Buddhism. And it's Hoonko, and I'm not sure what we're going to read, but possibly read Shoshinge. And certainly next year at our National Council meeting, when we observe the 750th memorial service for Shinran, now here in our district, the services we will read Shoshinge during the services at that time. And so, it's good to get some practice in. It may feel long. It's a gata that's composed by Shinran. It's found in the Kyogyo Shinsho, his major work. And this gata is kind of like the cliff notes of Jodo Shinshu. It contains within this gata, first of all, it starts with Kimyo Miro Junyorai Namu Fukashigi Ko. It expresses his taking refuge in infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. And it goes on to describe the contributions of the seven patriarchs, the individuals who Shinran identified as contributors to this way of seeing the Dharma, appreciating the Dharma. That these individuals, 2 from India, 3 from China, 2 from Japan, in their writings defined or contributed to Shinran's understanding of his understanding of the Dharma. And so reading the Shoshinge, in some temples every morning, Shoshinge is read. In some families, every morning Shoshinge is read. It is a reminder of the teachings of Shinran, what Shinran had to say. So the selection of Shoshinge this morning to read was to give you enough time to think of some questions. And now that I've been rambling, and we're almost out of time. Shoshinge went too long. Then as we were reading Shoshinge, I was thinking, I should read it slowly so you have an opportunity to kind of follow along. For some of you, this is the first time you're ever seeing this text, and for some of you, you may have read this several times, but not have a regular opportunity to read Shoshinge. And it shouldn't be a burden Reading this shouldn't be a burden, something that we struggle through. All sutra chanting in Jodo Shinshu, everything that we do in Jodo Shinshu expresses gratitude and appreciation. And we can't express gratitude and appreciation if we're struggling along and we have to do this, we have to do this. A few years ago, I was selected along with 3 other ministers to go to Japan. And we went, and I guess we don't do it now, but every year ministers were, 4 ministers from the BCA, I think 2 from Hawaii and from Canada, South America, and Taiwan are invited to come to the Honganji in Kyoto to kind of go through a refresher, to go back and re-energize our ministry. And I was asked to go at that time with Reverend Castro, Reverend Yukawa, and Reverend Hasegawa. And Reverend Hasegawa and I have go back a long time when we served the Hawaii Kyodang during mid-70s. And at that time, I asked the instructor of sutra chanting instructor, so when should we I guess it was what is the protocol for during the echo? When do you close your book? And those kinds of things. When do you receive it, itadaku? And he said, his response was, don't worry about that. If you are so focused on protocol or ritual and not really enjoying what you're doing, then the people who are, and he was speaking to ministers, the people who are participating in the service, observing you, struggling with this protocol and rituals, they're not going to enjoy it. So the gathas and the rituals that we participate in are really expressions of gratitude and appreciation. Certainly in the beginning, we struggle with these things. Their language, their strings of syllables that have no meaning. And we want to know what these words mean. And we look for translations, and we talk about reading these things in English. But as we participate in these rituals and ceremonies, at its base is this simple expression of gratitude and appreciation. Certainly there's information contained within these things that we can, in study classes or in discussions, we can look at and read and study and unpack the contents of these works. But while reading, while participating in the rituals, they're simply expressions of gratitude and appreciation. I get anxious reading sutras yet. I guess I'm a little less anxious than before. Been doing this for 30 years now, so I should know. Until about 10 years ago, so that's like 20 years into my ministry, when I would read a gatha or do sutra chanting, during the ekomo, ga nishiku doku byodo seisai, here we go again. The practice was ga nishiku doku byodo seisai doho bodaishin ojo annakoku. I would keep my thumb in the book in case I forgot the line. So you have to close, right? Ga nishiku doku byodo seisai doho bodaishin. What's the next line? Do. So this is like 20 years into this, and I'm still doing this, keeping my thumb in the book so that just in case I forget what I'm supposed to, what the next line is, I could open it up quite nonchalantly and find myself again.